I'll answer your questions for you guys.
Front row middle, Bill.
Urban, do you have an update on the linebacker situation, how you might line up this week?
You mean like who's at Will and Sam and all that stuff? No, we're not going to give you that, but we will say Baker's been cleared, he'll play, and Book is still questionable.
And did you guys do anything different? I think you did do something different schematically with your linebackers last week. Could you elaborate on anything that you did in terms of just how you played them?
Well, we had some personnel changes. You know, Worley played the Will for the first time, and Malik started Sam. But as far as schematics, no.
Front row middle, Dave.
Do you feel like you found your identity offensively now? I mean, you guys obviously want to be balanced, but as far as sometimes, I mean, you guys feel like you can be like a power running team, moving the tight end to the backfield sometimes. Do you feel like you guys have found your identity now?
Yeah, I feel like offensively, other than we had 2 bad games, you know, for most part, you know, you just, if you look at balance, I'm not sure this is a really balanced offense right now. And a lot of it depends on what the defense is giving you and how it's going. So I think the identity's been somewhat consistent. You know, we ran the ball really well Saturday, and we did a good job of getting the ball in the tailback's hands. That's the biggest priority, and that's going to continue to be a priority.
Front row right, Austin.
Urban, was it possible that Mike Weber was still dealing with some of the hamstring into even the last couple of weeks? Because it just looked like he was a different player physically, yeah.
Yeah, we got him out too. I mean, he opened it up, but he's, you know, it certainly was the first half of the season. He wasn't full speed. You saw him a couple times get in the open field, and he got caught. I remember a couple times right off the top of my head, but he's full speed. He had a great practice the last 2 days too.
To have him, I don't know, maybe in some ways it's a benefit that he didn't get all those carries early in the year, that you might be fresh with both of those guys. You see it that way?
I think it's probably it's a good time for him to be where he is right now.
Second row right, Tony.
Urban, is Joe Burrow 100% all good?
He is.
Can you have a quarterback battle for that backup spot with him being hurt like he was, and then you've got...
That's hard during the season because you just don't get the quality reps, and so not really. You can't really have a battle. They're both on call and both ready to go.
Third row right, Nick.
This will be the last go-around for the kids that came in the 2013 recruiting class. They kind of left in stages. It wasn't everyone at the same time, but what did that class mean to you, and what has it meant to Ohio State?
You know, it's a very successful class, obviously part of a national championship, and then this story's still being written. So, and wonderful guys. This is, you talk about the, you know, you bring people in here that represent their families in this university, and I could be, you know, that group of players are going to, I was looking at the list today, because like you said, there's some were left early for the draft, others were fifth-year guys, et cetera, but this is a wonderful group of guys.
In that class, Taekwon, Billy, Worley, a bunch of guys that became JT, that hugely important captains. Just to you personally, is this a special group?
It sure is, and I'm indebted to them because it's the names you just mentioned have been nothing but we ask them to jump and they say how high, and that's what you look for when you go recruiting.
Front row right, Tim.
Yeah, Urban, is there ever a perfect time to have like a ceremony like you're going to have before the game? You know what I mean? The seniors coming out, the emotion that's involved, and you know, when would be a perfect time for that? Obviously, it's our last game in the shoe, but you guys have quite a few games left, et cetera. Have you ever noticed it has an impact on a game?
I think leading up to the game, but not really. Once the foot hits the ball, I go back to my first one here, and when John Simon was DQ'd right before the game, I mean, that was emotional. But other than that, you know, it's a great tribute to our players. I love the way we do it. Everywhere I've gone, I've tried to do exactly the way Ohio State does it, and then obviously the next week will be senior tackle. So I'm not sure I can answer that one other than it's it depends on the group. You know, I made the comment many times, just because you're a senior doesn't mean you've earned anything. Some senior time to go. You know, there's a group of seniors, this group, that you wish weren't leaving.
And one other thing is, how do I ask this so I can get an answer? Do you feel like this group has put itself back in the picture? I mean, how huge was last week's rebound in your mind to see a team, you know what I mean?
Beat Illinois,
Yeah.
and stay focused.
Well, follow up with that, we found out about Baker and Booker pretty much on game day. Is anybody dealing with anything this week that's of any magnitude?
No. And the reason last week we weren't exactly high, we didn't know this time last week.
Front row left, Doug?
Urban, this is a question that could have been asked about JT anytime in the last couple of years, but here you are, you're game planning for a game like this. You've had veteran quarterbacks in your career. You've worked in young quarterbacks in your career. Just how different is it when you're getting a game plan ready and it's a guy who's done it so many times that you know understands everything, can do everything, versus the times in your career when you've had a young guy?
I think awful is probably the appropriate word when you have a young guy. You're excited because you want to see him develop like JT his first year. I mean, we had no idea what was going to happen. And, you know, whoever gets the keys to the machine next year will be somewhat the anxiety of not knowing what he can exactly do. But, yeah, it's a comfort zone to have a Tebow, to have a Braxton, to have someone, you know, that is a veteran player that you know exactly, and they're very familiar with the offense.
And final question, far left, Matt?
This Illinois team you're playing, they're playing a lot of really young guys. They 16 starters that are true freshmen. What do you see with this group you're about to play? What do you
I see what, you know, I've been in similar situations where you just say, I'm going to build and take young players, and they're very good young players, and they're, you know, they're betting a ranch on them, which I think that's appropriate.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
You guys are late.